PeoriaLife.com.
Hello everyone, welcome to In the Neighborhood with your hosts Tim Johnson and Stacy Borho. Together they are finding out what makes the heart of the Heartland beat. They sit down with people in your community that lead organizations, businesses, and government. You'll learn who they are and what they're involved in and why. They are the people in your neighborhood. It's In the Neighborhood with Stacy Borho and Tim Johnson.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Tim Johnson, and Stacy Borho's with me today.
Hey, Tim. How are you?
I'm feeling outnumbered today. We're going to get right into it. Well, actually, I'll say follow us on iTunes and YouTube. iTunes, you can pick up our audio version, and you can listen to it anywhere. But YouTube is another one that you can subscribe to and get notifications and all the different things that we're doing.
And what number are we today?
This is show 162. Today we're going to welcome Laura Blackaby of Family House. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. Laura's a friend of ours.
Yeah, she's been on a few times.
Yeah,
It's good to be back.
It's definitely why I feel outnumbered today. Between the two of them, let's get into talking about Family House a little bit. Tell us what Family House is and what you do there.
Well, Family House is a 20-room healthcare hospitality house. We welcome families from throughout the United States and across international borders who find themselves in Peoria because they're in the midst of a healthcare crisis with one of their family members or another loved one, and also for patients themselves who may have to come to Peoria to receive some type of specialized care on an outpatient level, such as maybe Illinois Cancer Care or St. Jude, or outpatient treatments through one of the hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a place for people to come and stay when their family member's sick, no matter what age, right?
Right. A year ago, actually on Halloween, we had a family come to us from Ottawa, Illinois, and their 16-year-old son was in a traumatic car accident. He was out with some friends, and he was life-flighted to OSF, and his parents, of course, followed immediately. And they actually came to us the day after their son was admitted to the hospital, and throughout multiple surgeries and recovery, the family was with us 166 days.
Wow.
And all to be close to their son. They're from Ottawa, and so it was a little bit of a drive. So being able to be 5 minutes away instead of an hour and a half or more away was a blessing to them. And then what was really cool was during the summer, they came in with some items from our wish list and helped us fill the pantry, and their son was with them.
Oh.
And he was standing and walking, which is not something they were sure he was ever going to be able to do when the accident happened. And he still has a long road of recovery, but he's a senior in high school. He was able to start classes this fall with his classmates. And so to be able to have them come back and bring their son, because so many times we have an opportunity to really get to know the families, but we don't always get to meet their son or daughter
Sure.
or parent. So for them to come back and give us the opportunity to meet their son and to see how well he was doing was a really special moment for us.
Mm-hmm.
We recorded live at your location. Boy, it's been a
About
year.
2 years.
We were actually
years.
just talking
Yeah,
about
we were just
that.
talking
Wow.
about
trying
that.
to figure
So
out
I
when
think
it
was right at the end of 2016.
But it's a beautiful building. You can. How many families can you host there?
Up to 20.
20.
We have 20 rooms.
And just kind of hidden right off of Prospect. So it's not something that people drive by and go, oh, that's that building.
Right.
Right,
So-
right. And that peaceful and serene setting, because it's wooded all around us. And that's probably one of the things that our family members comment on the most, is how just very peaceful and quiet it is. And we have some families who are with us right now that are kind of doing things in reverse. They're staying up at the hospital in the evenings to be with their loved one overnight, and then they're coming to the house in the morning to take a nap and freshen up
Unwind
before
and-
they go back up to the hospital. But it really is a very beautiful, very peaceful, very quiet environment for them to come and rest. And we really encourage them to take care of themselves as well. That's one of the benefits of having a family house. It's a place for them to come and rest and rejuvenate and have something to eat, because the more they're cared for, the better they're able to participate in the care of their loved one.
Absolutely. And you guys have a full kitchen there
We do.
and serve.
We had actually had a group last night from the OSF Healthcare Controller Group came in. The mission partners at OSF are just phenomenal, and we love it when they come to the house as well as other groups to prepare meals for our families. They did barbecue pork, potato salad, coleslaw, brownies, chips, a cake, and something to drink. And it was interesting because as they were setting everything up, we had one of our family members came in, and so I said to her, I said, "Hey, go upstairs and get your mom and come down and have something to eat." And she said, "No." She said, "I'm so sorry." She said, "We're just passing through." She said, "I'm coming to get her because we really need to get back up to the hospital, and so we'll have something to eat when we come back, because wow, it sure looks and smells good." And so I said, okay. So the ladies from the controller group finished setting up the food, and our guest and her mom come back down, and she was like, "Can we make a couple plates to go?" And it was like, absolutely. And so they made their dinner, and we got them all set up, and they were able to take it back up to the hospital and, have a nice meal in the midst of everything that was, happening with her father up at the hospital.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we appreciate all of our volunteers that come in and prepare meals for our families, and it is a fabulous kitchen. My family and I have cooked a meal or two in that kitchen as well. So, and I know that you've been there with Rotary to do the same. So
Yeah,
that's really great.
absolutely. How often do you guys have volunteers come through?
So we have some groups that have actually committed to coming in on a monthly basis,
Nice.
which is great, because we know at least 3 or 4 times a month we're going to have a group come in to prepare a meal for our families. But we're generally able to provide from our volunteers meals at least 2 or 3 times a week.
That's so great.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. So volunteers of all types.
Volunteers of all types. Over the last year, I actually think since the last time we were together, we revamped our website. So we have a new Family House website, and we actually have a page on there dedicated to our Heart of the House meal program and volunteer opportunities. And so people can actually go on our website and they can look at the calendar that tells the days that people are already providing meals. So it makes it easier for them to be able to plan around providing a meal. And we're welcoming new volunteers to the house to cook all the time.
What is the website so people can go check it out?
It is familyhousepeoria.org.
Awesome. So they can get on there, look at volunteer opportunities, and then see what they want to do.
Right.
So besides cooking, what kind of volunteer opportunities do you guys have there?
Yeah, so we have most of our volunteer opportunities we find are more episodic as opposed to something that's ongoing. We're pretty excited that one Saturday a month we partner with Bradley University with their Service Saturdays.
Okay.
And so we have Bradley University students come in, and I don't know, they do a variety of different things. This Saturday they're going to be coming in, and they're be putting together care packages for our families. All the materials for that have been donated by another group. So they're going to come in and put together care packages, not only for our families, but also care packages that they can take up to the hospital as well for their loved one. So we have those. Being in a 20-room house, there is always something to be done. We've had church youth groups come in where they've come in and they have cleaned our lounges and have sanitized all of our toys. done some yard work, plant flowers, help keep our grounds looking nice. So what we try to do is we try to work with the groups and say, what are you interested in, and match them with those types of opportunities. We also partner real closely with Dream Center Serve the City, and we've been able to be participants in or recipients in their last 2 Serve the City events, and it's always a joy to have them at the house as well.
Yeah, that's so cool.
They're an awesome group over there.
Yes, they are.
They really are.
Yeah.
So you're involved with more than just Family House, correct?
Yes.
What are some of the other things that you do?
So one of my favorite activities outside of Family House is I'm a volunteer for Special Olympics track and field. So it's called, their program is called athletics, but it's really track and field. Our new season is getting ready to start here in a few months at the end of February, which is always a chilly time to start the track season, but great athletes, and this will be my 5th year coaching Special Olympians.
That's very cool.
So how'd you get involved with that?
I saw a need on Facebook, and literally that's how, isn't it amazing how you'll just be scrolling through and something will pop up, and literally that's how I found out about it. It's through the Pekin Park District, and I was scrolling through and they said, hey, we really have a need for volunteers to come coach our athletics programs, and I said, I would love to do that. I had just really gotten into running myself when, so I had, I think, kind of a heightened interest in that area, and I was like, wow, I think this is something that I could do. And I'll tell you, those athletes just captured my heart from the first moment I met them, and it's been a joy every year to come alongside and coach them.
It's all about giving back and finding your niche and your passion and stuff.
Yeah, it really is.
That's awesome.
You're involved with a lot of different things.
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
We just have that passion, that.
So how do you get the fire started? I mean, how do people get involved?
Yeah, I think I think it goes back to what Stacy is. It's about finding that passion, right? And finding where you can serve. I like working with volunteers sometimes who'll come in and say, I want to be able to stretch myself and do something a little bit different and something that's outside of my comfort zone, right? So to be able to maybe embrace a new opportunity, to be able to embrace a different way of looking at things or trying something new, and trying that in a volunteer capacity as opposed to a professional capacity. But I think it's just really seeking out and finding what you are passionate about and saying, this is just a way I can give and a way to serve back. And it's one of those things where I take a look back on my experiences that I've had with Special Olympics and the athletes that I've had the opportunity to work with and coach. And I have received so much more back from them than I could ever possibly give them. And it's just, it's so cool to be able to volunteer and to be a recipient of what comes back. And, I don't think that's necessarily why we do that, right? I think we go in to say, oh, I'm going to volunteer and I'm going to do something good. And that's a wonderful thing. But then when you realize that, wow, I've been the recipient and here's all the things that I've learned from this journey as well, it just makes it even more fulfilling.
It's something that I said last week was there's something about our human spirit that really makes it so that when you invest in others, you're actually investing in yourselves.
Yeah,
So,
that's a very true statement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giver's gain.
So when would you say, can you visualize when the first time is that you volunteered for something that really kind of kicked this off for you? Because you're involved with Special Olympics, plus Family House, plus church events, plus
Yeah, I don't know. I think for me, a lot of it goes back to my family life and the way I raised. My parents were always very encouraging of me to step out and get involved. When I was younger, I needed a push to do that. And I'm an only child. I had a lot of pretend friends when I was growing up, and so I needed a little extra push and encouragement from my parents to say, get out and get involved and go out in the neighborhood and play with the friends and get dirty and become part of the community. And to see my parents and the way they served, that was definitely an inspiration for me as well. And so I think a lot of it is because of the way I grew up, and I had those opportunities to explore different areas of volunteerism and community engagement. And it's just carried over, and the older I got, the stronger that became in me. What's been really fun, most of my career has been in not-for-profit management. I entered the field in 1991, and I've been working with not-for-profit organizations ever since. I don't remember ever once growing up and saying, when I grow up, I want to work for not-for-profit organizations. But I think one thing that I've learned about myself is I have a very missional heart. And so I think that's why I've stayed with it as long. I have a son and a daughter. Both are, of course, grown up now. But my daughter actually started volunteering for events with me when she was 7 years old.
That's awesome.
And so she has, and my son too, and so they have both always grown up being there, right? Whether it's helping give away T-shirts or door prizes at a bowl-a-thon, to helping stuff envelopes, to making meals now at Family House. And so to be able to instill that into that generation. And I just think that's how it snowballs, to be able to say it's so important to invest in the lives of others. We're a community, and that's what we need to do as a community.
So you're both, you were involved with I've Decided. You're involved with I've Decided too. Can you explain a little bit about what I've Decided is?
Oh, well, I will do my best.
Yeah, me too, because I'm involved with I've Decided, and
Right.
it's a
So
multifaceted organization.
It is, and I think one of the things that I appreciate most about I've Decided is how inspirational it is, and it's all about making those decisions and encouraging those types of decisions to maybe branch out of your comfort zone, or to become stronger in an area that you want to grow in, but basically making decisions to step out and further yourself, and to step out and help others as well.
It's a pretty cool organization. Kim does a pretty good job with all of that.
Yeah, she does a really great job. I'm excited because I found out late last year that they have a group that I think starts up in the spring. I've Decided to Ride. And my husband this summer purchased a bike for me. I have not been on a bike in more years than I would care to admit.
Yeah.
And so it's been an interesting summer as I've been finding my balance in that way again.
Are the training
So
wheels off?
The training wheels are off. So I graduated. I do ride with a helmet that I have already found to be a very wise decision for me. But I'm excited about I've Decided to Ride coming up this spring, and getting involved with that.
I did the 40-mile ride the first year. I think they did it. It was so awesome.
I need to do that.
I did not ride this past summer, but what a great program. I've Decided is awesome, and in a lot of different facets, like you said.
Yeah. So I guess for me, I can say this spring, I've decided to ride.
Good for you.
And
Awesome.
that's what it's about. I hope Kim's listening.
I'm sure she is. All right. Well, we're running out of time already. Give us the information, the contact information for Family House.
Sure. So if somebody wants to get a hold of Family House, they can go to our website, which I mentioned earlier, familyhousepeoria.org. You can also find us on Facebook at Family House Peoria, or call us anytime, 309-685-5300. We'd love to talk with you.
Awesome.
Awesome. And I've been sitting here playing with this pen the whole time. Anyways, thanks, Nessa. Have a great week, everybody.
PeoriaLife.com